Is that
Oh, that's Veronica's job here. I'll mess it up.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. We had a quorum. We're okay.
All right. Calling to order the Personnel Committee meeting. We'll start out with roll call.
Alder Dorf here.
Alder Corpus Dax, present.
Alder Galvin is here, and Alder LaFave is not here yet. We haven't heard from her whether she will be or not, but we do have a quorum.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have, the agenda has been approved unanimously. And let's just take a second here. Alder LaFave has just entered the meeting. And while she's setting up, look for approval of the minutes.
Yeah. Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, we have a unanimous decision on that.
Mayor Genrick is here for item 3, but I believe items 1 and 2 will go very quickly. You
Right.
agree? So I didn't want to change the agenda, but I could.
No, I think we'll be good. All right.
All right.
Regular business, item number 1. Consideration with possible action on a request to fill the following replacement positions and all subsequent vacancies resulting from internal transfers of a mechanical foreperson out of Public Works and an electrician out of Public Works. Staff.
So you have the request to fill in your packets. If you have any questions, we can answer those.
Does anyone have any questions?
No?
I did not have any questions.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
A motion to approve by Alder LaFave, seconded by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Item number 2, consideration with possible action to amend the City of Green Bay Personnel Chapter 1, Equal Employment Opportunity. Staff.
So you'll see there's some changes to our policy for Chapter 1 with our Equal Employment Opportunity policy. It's really just to modify our current policy so it's aligned with current interpretations of state and federal law. And we use this language in all of our contracts with outside entities. If they would discriminate against someone else, there would be a breach of the contract, we could terminate it. So it's really just to bring our policy up to date and be clear and specific to the employees, applicants, and the public.
When was the state and federal verbiage changed that we had to bring this into compliance?
So the state and federal law did not change, but there's been interpretations from the EEOC that has held that under sex discrimination, sexual orientation, and gender identity fall under that. So that's really to fall under the EEOC determination.
So I wrote a policy for Green Bay Public Schools that was very similar to this already 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so this was probably a long time coming. We probably needed to update our policy.
We're a little behind the curve on that one.
Yeah.
So what happened is when the EEOC had a determination in 2012, it's under sex discrimination, this language in here. So you don't necessarily have to change the language, but it's to be clear and specific to all the employees that we oppose this discrimination.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
That's motion approved by Alder Corpus Dax, seconded by Alder Dorf. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Number 3, consideration with possible action on a request by Alder Galvin to examine the determined salary and benefits for the Oak Learning Center at the Wildlife Sanctuary to see if other funding sources can be used to get their pay and benefits closer to GBAPS salaries and benefits. Staff.
So I'm not sure if you want to go to closed session.
I do.
Second.
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. So a motion by Alder Dorf, seconded by Alder LaFave. All in favor?
Wait, I do have to read the language first.
Oh, yeah.
I have to read the language first.
All right.
Okay. The committee may convene in closed session pursuant to 19.851E Wisconsin statutes for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the investing of public funds or conducting other specified public business for bargaining reasons. The committee may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to 19.852 Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are going to go into closed session for a period of time. I just ask everyone to please.
Do you want to start over?
Oh,
Yeah.
Now we're good.
now we're good. Let's
Oh,
start over.
is this one going? Okay.
Yeah, we started that one. Okay, so you want us to make the motion again to proceed as,
Yes.
okay. I move that staff proceed as directed during closed session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion for staff to proceed as directed by Alder Dorf, seconded by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that passes unanimously.
Right. Now,
We'd like to stay on item 3. And what we want to discuss here, in the next part of item 3, in open session, is the fact that the school district has offered to give the city an additional $200 per student to go towards benefits and salaries.
And I think, Director Duchette, would you like to speak to that? I think we determined that it couldn't go toward benefits because there just wasn't enough.
Sure.
So
What I'd like to talk about is, I did have a conversation with the school
Yeah,
district.
do you mind coming up? I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, be on camera.
And just identify yourself.
Sure. Dan Ditchite, Parks Director. So I did want to just mention that I did have a conversation with the school district, and they clarified what the intention of that additional $200 per student were to go towards if we were to accept that. And really their intention is for all of that $200 per student to go towards either benefits or salary. So what we would like to do, or what we're proposing with that, is that the $200 goes towards salaries, because we would have enough funding in place, accepting that $200, to pay similar to what the Green Bay School District pays their teachers.
And what about the naturalists? Will they be getting?
So they would also be bumped up also to be similar to their similar type positions.
Really?
Yeah.
There was enough to do that?
Yes, there was enough to do both.
Okay, so that would get them to the level of a first-year teacher or
Correct.
aide.
Yes.
Okay,
But after, okay.
all right. So I'd like to make a motion that we use the
Well,
six.
I don't know if we can make a motion, because I think we already did on item 3 to go as
Proceed as
directed.
directed.
I think now it
Just informational.
This is just informational.
Oh, so that's what so how will the school district know that that's what we'll do with the $16,000? They will just,
we can tell them. I don't know. I think it's, maybe that's, because we made a motion on item 3 already to proceed as directed as in closed session. So I think we're kind of done with item 3.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe a common council, if we want to clarify it, or.
I think there's certainly some questions over across the river.
Yeah, I
about
mean.
what we use that 16,000 for,
Mhm.
and I wonder how can we?
Can we draft a memo and just send it to them?
We can do it, and I think that'll be part of what we're directed to do as well, to have that
Oh,
discussion.
okay,
Mhm.
okay, so that was probably what we talked about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then we don't need to do anything else. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
All right, on to item 4,
Which we're not doing.
the physical.
You can read it, yeah.
Yeah, this is consideration with possible action on a review of the WRS eligibility of the physical fitness incentive grievance by the Green Bay Police Department bargaining unit.
So the city and the police union have agreed to hold this until the August meeting. So we just asked for a motion to hold.
Move
Okay.
to hold till the August meeting.
Second.
I have a motion to hold by Alder Dorf, seconded by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. On to informational, report of routine personal actions for regular employees. Does anybody have any questions for staff?
I do not.
No?
Move to receive and place on file.
Second.
Okay, Alder Dorf has moved to receive and place on file, seconded by Alder LaFave. All in favor?
Aye.
And our next meeting date is August 13th, 2019, and I'll need a motion to adjourn.
Bill, Alder, can I
Yeah.
ask a question?
Sure.
Sure.
I
This
could
is
not,
Alder Burnett.
yeah, I could not get here for one of the agenda items. and
Okay.
that's the personnel policy revision. I was wondering if you could just, I don't know how you voted, if you could just reconsider. I just wanted to state my opinion on one of the items.
Oh,
Ask some questions, so if you could make a motion to reconsider or revisit.
I think we
Yeah.
can.
okay. Move to reconsider item 2, consideration with possible action to amend the City of Green Bay Personnel Policy, Chapter 1, Equal Opportunity. Yeah, second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Dorf to reconsider, seconded by Alder LaFave. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and could you just identify yourself,
Yeah,
please?
Alderman Jesse Burnett, District 12, 2595 South Trillium. Thanks for doing that. I tried to get here, I got tied up at work. So just a question, really, maybe for Director Faulds, but how did this kind of begin? Like, how did this conversation begin? Whose idea was it? to recreate this?
Yeah, so
To revise it?
Yeah, so I think the HR department always looks at policies and how to update it, but this one came about because the mayor's office was talking to the Human Rights Campaign for over a year on what we can do to update our policies and procedures to be more inclusive and have policies that show equality for members of the LGBTQ community. And then if you look at the determinations from the EEOC that interpret that sex discrimination includes gender identity and transgender, that's how we kind of put this together, and that's why it came about today.
Okay, I guess what I'm most concerned about is I notice a line over or religious opinions that has been crossed off. So when we talk about creating or revising a discrimination policy, we are basically, if I read this correctly, setting course where we could discriminate against people who have strong religious opinions or religious opinions at all.
Isn't it creed? Isn't creed cover that?
Not necessarily. I mean, why in the world would we cross off or religious opinions? To me, that's a strong part of a person's character, personality, beliefs, and we are, because at one time we saw fit that that was part of the discrimination policy, but I noticed a strike line that we have crossed off religious opinions.
When we revised it for Green Bay schools, because the national, the verbiage kind of changed to affiliation, race, color, creed. You notice not just religious opinions is crossed up, it's religious opinions or affiliations or because of race, national origin. That's also crossed up. It's like new federal language that we're kind of catching up when you say.
Yeah, so creed, it fall under that.
It does fall under that. And
but is there harm? I mean, what's the harm of keeping religion? Because people, when I think of my faith, I think of religion. I don't think of creed. Creed can mean a lot of different things short of religion. So I guess what's the point of other than wanting to duplicate or replicate what the federal government does? And I'm not one to ever endorse fully what the federal government does because they get a lot of things wrong. Why don't we just keep it in? I mean, that's up for the committee to decide. I'll pull it at council. But to me, if I'm a member of the community, of the faith community, which quite honestly built much of this community, I take that as quite a slight. That because if I have religious convictions, that somehow the city of Green Bay can see fit to discriminate against me because of those convictions.
Jesse?
No,
I just looked up creed here, I Googled it, and it says it's a noun, a system of Christian or other religious beliefs, a faith, a formal statement of Christian beliefs, especially the Apostles' Creed or the
Sure.
Nicene Creed. I mean,
Sure,
that's,
I understand, but creed, religion, for that definition, mention Christian faith or other religious faiths, you know, Muslim, Hindu.
I don't know, it just kind of seems potato for me. I mean,
Me too. I'm kind of thinking that they took it out because you don't want a group, say, we're all one religion here, and then you've got some others want to come and be employed, but they're a different religion. They're Muslim, they're Jew, or whatever. I don't know, do I take that wrong, that I'm thinking that you're
I
trying
don't
to say
understand
that
what you're saying.
some are trying to say others can't be employed because you're not part of our religion.
I think by adding,
Is
keeping
that-
religious opinions in, that allows
Would be
people who are
more-
religious to not have that used against them to discriminate their employment with the city. So I don't want to take too much of the
Sure.
committee. I'll pull it. I appreciate the time. I want my opinion known.
Sure.
That I don't see a need to cross off religious.
absolutely, and I guess we can
or
expect
opinions.
as council, so Joe, I guess, direct you to be prepared to have some explanations and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we're looking to, I think the intent was just to have it consistent, that creed would cover religious opinions, but we're looking to whether or not creed and religious opinions
Okay.
can both.
That'd be great.
I would like to keep it
That'd be
in.
great.
Yep, if we can do that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jesse.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
So now,
Do we make a motion?
now do we need to make a motion again, because we, to be considered, so
Yeah.
move to approve.
I'm looking for a motion to approve, or?
I'll make a motion to approve again.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion to approve, seconded by Alder Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
And that passes unanimously.
Okay, so we'll talk about it, council.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
So move to adjourn, is that what we're up to, move to adjourn?
Yep.
Okay. Move to adjourn. Second.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Alright.
Take a break, shut down the recorders, smoke them if you got them, and
Got Bob and Chief Finance.